Hello, Spider friends, and welcome to another episode of the Spider-Man Retrospective. I'm the lucky guy, Travis Snell.
I am Jigsaw Jameson.
Damn it, that's what I was gonna
How did you not know that? Whoever's gonna go, that's why I didn't even go for that, because it's like we all know that's gonna be the
I'm
nickname.
going for that.
Yeah, he got it.
I'm the Black Cat cosmid.
Yeah, that works out.
On the spot.
I like it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time tuning in, we are reviewing every episode of the 1994 classic animated Spider-Man series. This is the beginning of Season 4. We just wrapped up Season 3. Huge, spicy finale.
Very spicy.
Dylan may say. But, so, a lot going into this season. We had Green Goblin's gone, Aunt May's gone. No.
Aunt May's gone. I don't know what you saw.
Aunt May's the villain.
The deleted scene. Mary Jane's gone.
She got sucked into some interdimensional hole.
Oh, Mary Jane, yeah, not Aunt May, yeah. Mary Jane, and then Felicia's husband was revealed to be the Hobgoblin,
yes.
And then Peter was just left being very depressed, and that was how we last seen. So very dark,
and kind of he was quite mad too, as well.
Yeah, and Harry was also mad.
Harry's always mad.
I bring that up because
there is, okay.
there is a scene.
Yeah.
But we are going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of Season 4.
Season 4.
Gotta correct myself. Each individual title has partners in danger. So far, I guess it's lined up with these 3 episodes. The partners being Felicia, Black Cat, and Robbie. So it's like friends of his in peril. But I just have a feeling all these are gonna I bet there'll be at least a couple episodes that won't match up with why does it have the partners in danger?
I think it was just easy, so they could just name a generic one. Be like, oh, we finished the first one, and then what should we call the next one? Oh, just call it number 2, and then just move on.
But why are they doing why do they do this? The first 2 seasons didn't have subtitles.
I think it must have been too much work to keep it all organized.
But the problem is, really,
it makes it less organized because you can't actually find the title of the actual episode. Well, at least you couldn't on Netflix, right? Because it would have
the huge.
You know how Netflix screwed it all up by getting them mixed up? If they were numbered properly, they would have got mixed up.
Maybe more people would watch the show and it wouldn't have gotten removed from Netflix, and we could have been watching it on there still.
Yeah, so we're talking about the first episode, Guilty. Spider-Man.
Great episode name. Very creative.
I actually think
inspiring.
I think last season they nailed it. Looking at these first 5 episodes, I know we haven't watched the last 5 or the 4 and 5, but I'm gonna spoil it a bit. One episode's called The Return of Kraven. The other one's just called Partners. So there's literally a thing called Partners in Dangers, Partners. And then listen to these titles that we've already done so far. Guilty, The Cat, The Black Cat. These are super lazy titles. You go back to season 3, Turning Point, Goblin War. Okay, Carnage, Venom Returns. Maybe it's not that.
They're not all gold.
No. Spider-Man still grieving over Mary Jane's loss. Meanwhile, Tombstone, incarcerated in Rooker's Island, plots a revenge on Robbie Robinson as Robbie previously caused his arrest in exchange for assisting cellmate Richard Fisk in a few brawls in prison. Oh, fun. What a loose way to be associated with him. Richard requests that his father, the Kingpin, frame Robbie as a criminal mastermind. Based on Spectacular Spider-Man number 150, 151, and 155.
Wow.
Never read those issues, but there's 3 of them, and that almost makes me want to read it. So what do we overall think about
I have a quick question right off the bat. Richard Fisk, I can't remember when we've seen him.
I can't remember.
We've seen him probably once or twice.
I think it was literally once, because he gets arrested in that episode. He takes the fall for Kingpin, I think that's what happens.
Oh, I don't remember this at all. This must have been first season.
I don't think it
was... Well, no, because first season it was all about Smythe. I'm just trying, because I feel like we've seen Richard Fisk once or twice, but he's just so small. Okay. And even in this episode, his scene, he's just standing there the whole time while the other characters
and he's on computer screens too, just
yeah.
Season 3, it was episode 6. The episode, I'm completely wrong. It was just called Framed. So we have Framed and Guilty, but it was framed. Peter Parker is framed by Richard Fisk, the son of Wilson Fisk, for selling government secrets, and that's how he got introduced into Daredevil. So he had he had a 2-parter, so that's what happened. So Richard Fisk was in trouble with the law, and they decided to pin it on Peter Parker. But then good old Matt Murdock saved the day and put Fisk's ass in prison, and now his ass is getting something else. But Tombstone.
And you don't want
his ass.
You don't want Tombstone in your ass, yeah.
No.
I think this episode for me was very strange. I think it was a big cool down episode, which I think could happen if it was a big episode, and then it's weird for it to be a premiere. I think it's.
I would agree like 90%.
Yeah, like for me, this reminds me very, very much of like major spoilers. But if you haven't watched Dexter, you're never gonna. When Rita dies, the very first season when we come back is just this super slow, methodical. Not much really happens in this Dexter episode. It's just him dealing with it, right? And that's what this felt like. But then like the rest of the stuff, like I like Tombstone enough. I like Robbie enough. I like Richard Fisk enough. But like. It's not.
Don't you love Jigsaw Jameson?
I do, and that is like I stand out for this episode. But I think for premiere, it wasn't like, oh man, here we go. But maybe you needed that. Maybe you just needed him like to have just like a normal mission that wasn't big. Like he just dealt with multiple goblins. His girl's dead. Like all this stuff. Like maybe we needed this. So I think the episode was still entertaining, but it didn't keep me enthralled like usual.
It doesn't really feel like it's pushing the show forward. Like this episode could have easily been way back in season 1.
Oh yeah, it feels like a season 1 like Spider Slayer, Lizard Knight episode or whatever.
I think that the purpose of it, I mean, it's first of all, it's a really happening episode. Like it's really busy. It just goes from like room to room. I feel like it's within the first minute that you find out that Robbie is like getting framed, and then he's in prison, and then he's like at the trial.
The trial's really
he gets guilty, and he's like sent to prison. That happens like in the first minute. It feels like it might be 2 or 3 minutes.
I think 5.
It's really. Honestly, watch it back again, like I was shocked at how fast it was.
Because the first minute is just a bunch of flashbacks of stuff we already saw, right?
Yeah.
They literally just show a bunch of scenes of like Goblin, and then like we'll talk about the new
Remember when he threw Tombstone in
there? Yeah, in the acid pit, and
The one I don't know part that makes sense for this as a season starter is that obviously Peter Parker's pretty bummed after Mary Jane after Mary Jane gets ripped out of this dimension.
Yeah. To him, who's in his opinion is dead, right? We know she's somewhere around, but he
never says the word dead because it's this show. But
they can't say dead, but they say Nazi in an episode later on. I was shocked that they can say Nazi, and like Disney doesn't even really say Nazi, but they can't even say like murdered or dead. Like
or
I
blood.
don't know.
Yeah, God forbid saying blood.
Yeah, plasma.
But yeah, I guess the reason it's the one small thing this is a good starter to the season is that Robbie is like, oh man, I've always believed in you, Spider-Man. You're a real good guy. You're really helping people out. And that actually really helps to motivate Spidey/Peter Parker in, I guess, to do some good still and not give this up and continue on doing his thing. But that's only like that's like a cliff note at the very end of the episode. It's like a 10-second clip. So that really feels like the only part that warrants being like a season starter. But
yeah, it's like I remember why we have Robbie in this show just to love Spider-Man, you know?
He's his number one. He's his cheerleader. Number one fan.
I was kind of disappointed we didn't see much of his wife because remember they had quite a weird relationship where they like loved each other but hated each other right away. So
and then we see his kid again.
You don't need to see that.
I know. I'm just joking. Yeah, we did see his kid who's up to no good already.
Always
like
perpetually out of his element.
Yeah.
So for myself, I thought I wouldn't look at this season as a premiere, as kind of just a continuation of last season.
Oh,
that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what the writers told us too. No?
Yeah. He emailed me quickly, let me know.
It's more just if we could have made this season 3, we would have. But
they really wanted to have 15 episodes last season, so I wanted to push it to 16. Couldn't do it, so I just figured I'd start off. So kind of looking at that, that's why I don't really have that big of an issue of it being like a premiere, because I know we're like, you know, Spidey's gone through a lot of stuff in the last, I don't know, I guess day or 2 days.
Well, how much, like, are you talking about in this episode or with the Mary Jane stuff?
Like how long ago was that?
Well, that's what I was going to say. How long from this episode to the Mary Jane stuff? Because those flashbacks are really unclear.
Maybe
time,
like a week.
Time is always really difficult to tell in this show.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm hoping at least a couple months.
I think we just give up on time frame in this show.
I'm not going to, because when that Felicia stuff comes, we need to talk about that. Because it couldn't be a week, and then we'll get to that later.
Well, it could be.
Actually, it could be with him. But continue.
So I thought it was kind of an alright episode. I don't know, it didn't really grab my attention, so I don't know, we'll get more into the gritty ditty.
Gritty ditty! I've never heard that.
Nitty gritty.
Did he come racing?
Okay, I want to talk about those flashbacks first. So they start with the episode, and they're the first, like, Peter's flashbacks, when they show a lot of,
there's a new scene in here.
There's 2 new scenes. All of them are old, like, they're just showing what we just went through, we've explained you already. There's 2 new ones. The first one isn't obvious, just MJ's aunt is. I never catch her name, and I always forget it. What her fucking name is.
Don't matter. She just hates Peter. Move on.
Peter.
Anyway, so she's just crying, super upset. So that's to be whatever. That makes sense. They're following up on that. storyline. And then we get a flashback of Harry.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, so he's hugging Peter, he's crying, and he's saying,
he's relying on Peter.
and he's like, "Oh, Mary Jane's gone, and now my dad's gone. The Green Goblin must have took them both. What am I supposed to do without the two people I love the most?" I get it, because I bet in real life, if Mary Jane broke up with him, he hated her and she died, he would. I think in real life,
he would hate her, but he'd still love her.
he would. So
it's like this unfulfilling thing. Right?
Yeah, and I guess, you know what, I don't even know why I'm picking on it, because maybe he would forgive Peter in the moment too. So it just felt like out of nowhere, Harry's
it makes sense from the perspective that, like, at the start of the show they tell you that they're best friends.
Yeah.
But once again, we never got to see that, right? Like, they're said to be best friends. So I don't know. It makes sense that he could come crying to him, but like last time we saw these two interact, Harry was just a total bitch to Peter.
Yeah.
Like, he hates him, and which makes sense to a degree.
But then this also makes sense then, that her dying would maybe rebond them, maybe, you know? Like, I can kind of give them a pass. It could happen.
I guess so, but Peter didn't seem to give a shit.
No, he was like,
he's like, get the fuck away from here. I'm done with you, man.
We've been through too much.
Oh man, the Peter, and like that's it. Like, he gets his one thing, and he's not in any of these episodes or anything like that.
Still
like,
rocking his orange jacket.
Yeah, he just needs a shave. But yeah, I just thought I would bring that up because he was very upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a really weird thing that I have to bring up as far as like, so we're talking into the other flashbacks where they're talking about Robbie, and he's like talking about his life, and he's just like, "Oh, things are going great now," and everything. And this is where my nickname comes from, because he's walking out, and Jonah's just like, "You have a son, you have a wife, you're a lucky guy," and he's just like, "That's right, Jonah. I am a lucky guy." And he gets in the cab, and then he gets gassed.
It's like the most obvious foreshadowing of all time. But honestly, when I saw that, it reminded me of that face that you do, like, sometimes when you don't say anything, you just do like that, the Travis face.
The stalling time.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen to you, Robbie, but I feel bad for whatever's coming your way.
And it's like they had to enforce, like, if you've never seen the show, this guy's a really good guy who has everything. And like, he gets in the car.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a lucky guy. And then the thing comes up, his door's locked, and then boom, he's gassed. And then he just wakes up on a fucking boat with a gun in his hand. Like, not a way you want to wake up. And then
no.
Then he's soon thereafter in prison.
Yeah. Do you think he handled the waking up in the boat situation pretty well? Like, I felt like he could.
I feel like you'd be pretty confused of like trying to figure out what's going on. Like, why am I on this boat? But then all of a sudden, like, you just shoot. You're like, what is going on? Like,
well, the gun was supposed. They made it so the gun would go off. Remember?
Yeah.
But still, like,
it was like one of those remote control.
Yeah, but like, I don't even know. Right when you wake up, why would he still be? I don't know. He like.
I honestly, I think I get it. Like, I think that would be very confusing. Just look at like how fast this episode is. Like, everything is moving very quickly. He was not expecting this, and that's not a place that anyone ever has woken up in. Like, that's a very confusing place to be.
We saw like his conscious wake up, not just like himself. Like, you know, like how else is he being controlled really?
Oh, I don't think he was being controlled. I think the situation around him was being controlled.
No, it was just the gun being controlled, and then when we popped in,
controlled?
Because he has no like context. All of a sudden, like out of nowhere, he just realizes, "Whoa, what am I doing? Like, what's going on?" Like, he felt like he just woke up.
But he hadn't done anything yet, right? Like, they just put the outfit on him, put a remote control gun in his hand, and then that was it. Like, the cops were already there to.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's like Jim carries the mask. Like, when he puts on the mask, he doesn't know what he does, and he takes it off. Like, I think like it's like he just woke up on this ship, like, which is like. I don't know. I guess they brought his lifeless body and put him there because they were afraid of this mastermind. And I feel like I don't know. I guess when do you want to get to Tombstone? Because I really want to talk about
right now.
Okay, so they go through all this trouble to frame Robbie just because Tombstone is like keeping tabs on Richard Fisk and like winning brawls for him. Like, I get it. Like, I guess he does want to take care of his son, but I feel like Kingpin could easily have just been like, "Hey, Tombstone, I'm not going to do that Robbie thing, but I'm just going to pay you copious amounts of money and you'll protect my son." Or anybody would protect his son. But for it feels a weird Kingpin move for him to almost maybe expose himself and go after Robbie and try and frame him and do this whole big thing that can completely blow up instead of just like giving someone money to protect his son. It felt super weird. Like, I knew the Tombstone thing was happening because I've seen this before, but when he comes in, it always just feels like, oh, like, I guess we're bringing it back to this, like, you guys were kids, friends, and everything. Like, I don't know. It felt really like, oh, they wanted. Like,
honestly, maybe that's it. Maybe if they feel that they have an idea, or I guess they're basing this off the comic, but if they're ever gonna do a storyline with Robbie, So they somehow want to pair it with
Has to be a
Tombstone,
Tombstone.
or vice versa, right? If they want Tombstone as a villain, because he's popped up like 3 or 4 times now. Like Tombstone's big recurring. So.
Yeah, and he always gets pretty balked. He doesn't. Nothing really goes his way.
But he's still. It never hurts his confidence. He's always
Right
just
back
as
at
cocky as he always was.
Yeah.
Good old Tombstone.
And I'm trying to think of any other like massive points to talk about. Because like Dylan pointed out, like he goes to trial, he goes to jail, he finds out Richard Fisk's there. They make Richard Fisk his roommate, right? He's his roomie or whatever.
Well, loosely, right? Because they have like the guard on the inside.
Yeah.
And then he lets like Fisk and Tombstone in, but they immediately just leave. So there's not really any reason for them to enter that cell.
No.
Like it doesn't. They could have just had that guard move Robbie somewhere like to the plane and then.
And why did they want?
Get taken out.
I guess Robbie wasn't a part of the breakout because they just take Richard Fisk and Tombstone on the helicopter, right? Or wasn't Robbie on the helicopter as well?
I think he was, and then I think they got on the plane, and then Spidey like got there immediately.
I
And
guess
them out.
that's why it's like kind of all a mess because there's just
Well,
so
it's
many
just such a fast episode.
Well, it is, but I don't know. I almost should have watched it again, but there's almost times where I feel like I don't know why Robbie need to be here other than like why would they take him on that helicopter?
The plot
Why?
really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I thought you were gonna follow up with something.
Nah, that's all I had. Like, what else there?
I think like the action was good in this episode.
Well, this episode's more about Jigsaw Jameson. We haven't talked about him
Okay,
yet.
let's just
so
talk
we
about
find
him.
out about this fucking super surprise backstory where Jameson was like a sick detective and had like a mad rep and knew like all the cool cats in town.
Where did
He
he get his
went by
information?
Jigsaw Jameson for some reason.
Jigsaw, you're back.
Well, and that's the thing, because at first they make it almost feel like he's just like lying, like he's like boasting it up, but then multiple people are like, Jigsaw Jameson. But the problem is, they see him all the time, I'm sure, in New York, like he's a big figure there.
But they mentioned that though.
But, no, but the thing is,
But they don't know his alter ego.
Well, I know, that's what I mean. All he does is throw on a trench coat and a hat, and now he's Jigsaw
Right.
Jameson.
Look at Superman.
That's the
takes
classic.
off the glasses.
That's the classic superhero thing.
I know, but the fact that he's walking around sewers doing this shit, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the people that he sees, he's talking to, like the other people that he used to work with, I guess. They know what he does now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why no one like. You would think like someone competing against the Daily Bugle would try to out this guy as being pretty shady, going by Jigsaw, which is the name of a famous serial killer. So
It wasn't at that point.
It wasn't at the time.
It was actually just the name of there's a I don't know what happened there because there's a Punisher villain named Jigsaw, so it's still
Is
kind of
there?
weird. Well, yeah, he's in Punisher season 1.
Punisher season 1.
Yeah, you reviewed that.
Jigsaw.
Have to see a photo.
Really memorable season.
I'm not remembering that.
But anyways, this Jigsaw, do we think he's murdered anyone in the past?
No. I think this is just his alter ego for being a detective.
Kyle really has set on who Jigsaw Jameson is.
I honestly,
feel like
I
I know.
hadn't considered it.
Because I'm asking, when his wife got brutally gunned down back in season 1, we got that flashback.
Oof.
Do you think he became Jigsaw Jameson?
I think it was before that.
He exacted revenge on those people.
So
you're
before he was ever Jigsaw Jameson, his wife got killed, and then he became Jigsaw Jameson?
No, he was Jigsaw Jameson, then his wife got killed, and then he got out of it.
But that's what so you're saying that made him stop being Jigsaw Jameson. Why wouldn't he continue to be Jigsaw Jameson to hunt those people down?
Because
That's-
him
yeah.
hunting the people down is what got his wife killed.
Oh,
But he has no wife to get killed anymore.
just himself.
So there's no... So he's lost
So he's just the
everything.
Punisher, but he just doesn't
Truly, he
kill
never cared about
Yeah.
his wife.
yeah,
about his own-
he's like,
he cared
finally,
about
I
his
can
own
retire. I can be a
I'm
fucking...
becoming a crusty CEO of the Daily Bugle.
So instead of trying to hide away, he decided to become the leader of the Daily Bugle, where he get lots of press.
We just need a spin-off like animated show of just his like upbringing. You know, a 10-episode miniseries of when he was like a baby
I'd be down with that.
to when he met Peter. And
No, I just want
Maybe
different
not
stories
baby.
of him being Jigsaw Jameson. I'm just like...
I want to see that backstory.
We
I'd be
should
down
make the
for a
black and
full
white
episode.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so down for that.
I would agree that was the best part. That was the most comedic part. He had
What's the
some
best
good
part?
lines. I think the rest of the episode's just kind of fine. Like it's
Wow,
all
that's
right.
weird.
And then we get this whole thing that Spider-Man, he's depressed, but he's also the whole episode, which is kind of annoying. He's just talking about like, and I'm done being Spider-Man.
He
and
always
then,
does
and
that.
then there's like
He's
an
so moody.
explosion, and then he's like, I guess not yet. But then after this, I'm done being Spider-Man. And it happened quite a bit in this episode to almost annoying level until Robbie said, like what you said, Dale, like, oh, we couldn't have done this without you. He's like, maybe there is a place for Spider-Man in this world after all. And it's like, oh, fuck, Peter. Like, why do we need... You just... like, it's not Spider-Man's fault. It was your fault. Like, you maybe should have reported Norman in the fucking, like, last season. You know, he's kind of a crazy guy. Like, that wasn't because you were Spider-Man sort of deal. Like, it kind of was, but I don't know. But I'm glad that he took what... Classic Peter took one episode, and now in the next episodes, he's like, I'm Spider-Man again.
He forgot about it. I mean, he'll mention it here and there.
But the timeline, we don't really know. It could have just been like weeks after he realizes it.
That is true. We still don't know.
Yeah. Do we have anything else on this episode? I have two fun facts.
I don't have much, no.
Someone at one point when they were talking in the trial, it was like the lawyer against Robbie, and they're like, this isn't a Saturday morning cartoon.
This is a court of law.
Very nice. It was a Saturday morning cartoon.
I like that.
The guy that J. Jonah Jameson hires, Ned Leeds, you know, the guy with the long blonde hair.
Yeah.
That is technically Homecoming, the Spider-Man movie. I don't know why I phrased it that way. But Ned in that movie, that's who that character is.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So that blonde guy in this episode is the same guy in Homecoming who's like his...
And that's the first time we've seen this character. They made it... the way they mentioned him in this episode made it seem like he was... someone of importance.
I don't know if that happens because I honestly, like, I'm sorry, Kyle, I don't think the Hobgoblin ever comes back, I don't think. Oh. But in the comics, Ned Leeds is also a Hobgoblin. So that's why some people speculate, oh, is Peter's friend in Homecoming? No, Peter's chubby friend is not going to become the fucking Hobgoblin. I kind of hope not. I don't want that fucking funny-ass kid to be the Hobgoblin. But Ned Leeds is an important character. So I don't know if anything, I can't remember if anything happens here, but I think it was more just a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Sure. Like, this is someone important, so...
That's a fun fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I will give this a thumbs up. That I can't say it's a bad episode. You got Jigsaw Jameson in there. I think it was just decent. It's like a mild thumb. I couldn't give it even a thumb in the... yeah, actually, I don't know. I'll give it a thumb in the middle, actually, because Jigsaw Jameson's fun, but, like, the rest is just kind of there. It's all right. It's just... It gets to that point of, like, I understand we need an episode of Peter having to be regretful, but I think it's just because in the past they've done it so many times. Now it just feels like, oh, we're doing this again. And this time it's warranted because MJ's dead, but in the past it's just been like, oh, you know, I fucking didn't save this old lady's purse. Like, should I stop being Spider-Man? Like, this is bad. Like, so I'll give it a thumb in the middle, actually.
I think the Jigsaw Jameson stuff is enough for me to warrant a thumbs up for this one.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, this episode, it moved really fast, probably too fast, such that like the plot doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it was at least still keeps your interest in that regard. Well, at least for some people.
Wow. Did not keep my interest at all. I thought it was alright. I'll give it a mediocre. There's nothing. It's pretty lackluster.
It was a middle thumb for the listeners.
Middle thumb.
Well, I like that you still said, I said for the listeners, and you still like would put your thumb more towards the video people. More thumb. Okay.
The sound displacement by the mic, you can tell the difference.
Episode 2, The Cat. Dr. Octopus attempts to blackmail Anastasia Hardy into paying him a ransom money in order to fund his dangerous experiments by threatening to reveal Felicia's father was the crook known as the Cat. So very basic plot line. I also
technically a part 1-ish.
Yeah, but they're not. They've dropped that now. They don't do part 1
anymore at all.
Well, not that I can see. I can see clearly. Oh no, there's a few.
Okay.
Oh god, there's awful ones.
Yikes.
Yeah, but so this.
Not getting me excited.
Yeah. I'll just say Return of Hydro Man Part 1.
No. That's gonna be.
When's it gonna come? I won't tell you. But okay, so
season finale, season 6, the last episode.
I feel like so they lead off with like Doc Ock and he's like kidnap them. He doesn't come into like the middle of the episode. It feels like, doesn't it?
Doc Ock.
Doc Ock.
I thought it was the first thing in the episode, wasn't it?
No,
it's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. It's definitely in the first like.
He looms from the shed. I just
remember first like 6.
Maybe it's that. I don't actually remember him like being in this episode that much. And I just watched it last night and he feels like, one, because Fisk gets involved and Black Cat and fucking Captain America.
He's more like an intro to this storyline for sure, but he's
a Smythe.
He Smythes it, yeah.
He definitely was the intro because he was the one sitting in the chair.
Okay.
And then she walked in and he's like, oh, we're talking about this conversation. She's like, oh no, Felicia, get out of here. You don't need to be part of this.
And then he says a weird line when he's like...
Spidey shows up and there's clearly some windows have been smashed and some lamps have been
and then Doc Ock says this weird line where he says, it's nice to hold you in my arms again. That was fucking really creepy line by Doc Ock. So maybe I had a reverse.
He's a creepy fucking guy. Look at his like weird bowl cut and his glasses.
Yeah, I think it's maybe the reverse that maybe he was in the beginning, and I just felt like he just kind of he's in the next part too, but he just kind of like disappears. I feel like.
It's not the Dr. Octopus that we saw in season 1.
That's what I was gonna say. We've not really gone that. We got a little
because we got him again in season 3 or 2.
Oh, sorry, the Insidious 6.
And I remember us not being a huge fan of that in conclusion either.
And I thought there was Insidious 6, and I thought he was back for like one more episode. And every episode, he's kind of like, he's not got a showcase. He's always kind of like,
especially with like I remember his like outro scene on his episode in season 1. It really set him up as like
in the prison.
Like we were excited to see him come back.
He's almost like his own like a goon. He's like turned into a goon.
He's hit
with like a bit of like
it's sad to say.
Intelligence, like just one above the goon.
Yeah. It's sad to see.
One above the goon.
Yeah.
Life goals.
So what do we want to talk? Okay, so how do we want to divide
There's a few things to talk about in this episode.
Because there's obviously
this episode's loaded actually.
There's obviously like the action like Doc Ock stuff. Yeah. There's the Felicia ties to the cat stuff. Then there's the Peter and like Felicia sort of thing. Where
and there's the Shield stuff as well.
We're gonna start off with the Felicia and Peter thing.
Okay, so he fucking just he's talking about MJ, and I like that he's talking about he misses her and blah blah blah. He feels so bad, and he's like, only if I can talk to someone that feels the same way I do. Oh, I know. I'll talk to Felicia. He just doesn't even assume. He just knows I'm gonna talk to Felicia because he literally says at one point because she'll know how to help. Like,
because she lost Morbius and her husband. It's like, okay.
What she says is Felicia will help me with my grief.
Yeah, and it's just like, he's just fucking like, yeah, she's gonna help me. Like, he's just 100% assumed, not even assumed, like I said, he's decided. Like, he didn't even say, Felicia will maybe help me with my grief. Felicia will help me with my grief.
Well, even the idea to go to Felicia, right? Because that's just to open up a can of worms.
Oh, I know. He knows it. He's such a fucking
big yikes.
I'm surprised he doesn't go to Aunt May and talk to Aunt May.
Yeah, seriously. I totally forgot. Why wouldn't he do that? That makes so much more sense.
Like Aunt May. So MJ's gone. I really miss her.
You lost Uncle Ben. What did you like? Tell me how it was for you.
That would have been great. And then we could have another flashback with Uncle Ben and how Aunt May dealt with him.
He could even go to Jonah and talk about his wife, you know. But Felicia, she just, I'm Team Felicia. I was wavering last season because she was kind of acting a little bitchy those last few episodes. But like, I'm Team Felicia still. But the thing is, from the series, you know, I think she's a very cool girl. Mm-hmm. She's a hot girl, you know, someone you want to have a fun night out with. But, but I don't think she's the best advice giver. You know, like, you look at her.
She doesn't seem like the smartest.
Like, look at even the guy she's dating right away in the car who's just like, oh, Felicia. Like,
oh, yeah, new guy. Wait, so what happened to the old one?
Well, he was hobgoblin.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you usually don't stay with someone if you find out that they're a hobgoblin.
I thought he was going to force her to stay with her, though.
Oh, yeah, that was you. Remember in that last podcast, you're like, no, he's going to force her. I'm like, how? He's in prison. You're like, he'll find a way. No, that's not how it works. Like,
He'll still find a way.
No.
I'm stick to my word.
Wow. So yeah, he's moved on from Jason from this guy.
And this new guy is once again like head over heels for Felicia.
Oh, he's hoity-toity. Like he's more on the Jason side. He's not Michael Morbius, but he's more on that like you can tell he's rich. He's
like in the back of the limo. Probably.
Yeah, and she's not paying really any attention to him. That's like I guess maybe she'll fall in love with him next season because that's how it always goes with Felicia. She doesn't pay attention to him, but like this time it felt. Specifically, she really did not care for this guy. But
she also had like she was thinking about her dad for some reason. Like she was just thinking about him.
Yeah, she had a dream about her dad.
Yeah, so I think she was a little distracted.
Photo.
He sees the photo later. I thought.
No, because it was in the office where she picked up the photo.
Because she had that flashback scene where she remembered that.
Tucking her into bed or something.
Yeah, and he had like some really weird quote.
The Dark Knight will wrap you up in a blanket or something.
It was like some weird abyss bullshit. I don't know what it was, man. It was a weird thing to say to like a 5-year-old.
And then they say it again.
Yeah.
Her dad's kind of a weird guy. We'll get to him, but
he's super weird.
So here's where I want to call back before we get back to the Peter and Felicia stuff. This is where I want to call back. Legitimately, let's take a guess. How many months have passed since the MJ dying and Jason being revealed as Hobgoblin? Like, legitimately, because we don't give the show a break. Like, we tried. So how do we honestly feel? How much time has passed?
I'm going to go ahead and say, like, at most a couple months.
Okay.
I was going to say a month.
Okay, I would go 2 months as well. I think that's a good
Somewhere
time
in
for. Even though
Month and a half.
I guess that was probably like 2 months of Peter being like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be Spider-Man," but he still is fucking swinging around. But
He's still swinging around.
okay, because I just
Yes,
want
he
to know,
does.
she's already on a date. She's trying to move on. So then, yeah, Peter just goes, "Yeah, she's gonna help me," and that's how we get to like him at the place with Doc Ock, right? Like it's just. He's like, "How did you find me?" And then Spider-Man has some fucking line. I can't remember. He's just like, "I always know where you are."
Oh no, I actually. How did you know where I was? It must be my sense of smell, which I like because it's he's throwing some mad shade at him.
Yeah, that's not even a clever one. It's not even a pun.
I like it.
I know you.
I thought it was awful.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
But anyway,
Bad
so
writing.
Cheesy.
so that the Peter Felicia stuff that kind of gets on the back burner until the next episode. We'll shelve that. Let's go to the Felicia, the dad, the cat storyline. What do you
Okay.
guys think about the whole her dad being this like famous burglar?
Well,
he's in prison.
I liked it because I realized watching this episode that Felicia, she had her thing with Hobgoblin, but we still have never really got much backstory on her. And
she's just the hot chick Peter likes, and that's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's kind of bitchy.
Well, that's how
And
it
her
was
mom's
for like the
rich.
first like 2 or 3 seasons.
and she
then,
loves Spider-Man.
Then there was some more. When was Morbius? Was that season 2?
Yeah, season 2. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess
The
that was a
living
while ago.
vampire.
But anyway, I liked it from the perspective of giving her some backstory. And obviously, even next episode, she gets even more depth of the character. But I really liked seeing that actually.
Mhm.
And I thought he's kind of weird, and we don't really get to see the cat a whole lot. But he still has a cool look, and I don't know. I think that the story is interesting enough. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
I felt like this was the Robbie thing, where for you guys that got all these flashbacks, you must have known, oh, Felicia's having some sort of big moment here. Like,
yeah.
did you? I don't know. Okay. Did you see this whole Black Cat thing coming? You two? Did you have any?
Well, I saw that the episode was called Black Cat.
But I mean, like that when we started the series, did you think she was going to become a superhuman being?
No, I didn't think that at all.
Not at the start of the show,
Yeah.
no. But
Throughout you had a.
well, at some point I found out that Felicia Hardy is Black Cat.
Oh really?
So-
See, I was hoping you didn't. Damn it! Yeah.
So when I saw that that was coming up in this season, I guess I knew that it had to be her.
Fair enough. Wow, spoiled. Kyle, what did you think about we'll get the Black Cat later. What do you think about her father's storyline, the cat and all this?
I thought it was pretty interesting. I'm still kind of confused. I think I'll talk about it more in the next episode, why I'm confused.
There's a lot of stuff that, like, we're gonna probably finish this episode soon, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into the other episode that I want to bring up, but I don't want to spoil, but I guess we should say spoilers, but
Otherwise, like, I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it wasn't too bad. I kind of like where he was getting at and where he was coming from, and this one is where we got the little intro to Captain America, which was kind of really random and out of the blue.
Well, oh yeah.
I definitely didn't see it coming.
Is it this episode or? Oh,
That's
it is this episode. It's
yeah.
at the end of this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was just like, it was like they've told this whole episode about the story of the cat, and then it's like, oh, and then this one time in Germany, and then they're just like, hello, Captain Steve Rogers, and you're like, what? And then Red Skull just like literally busts out of like a fucking closet, like, get him, like it's so tacked on,
Very
like,
cheesy.
yeah, but like it's very strange. But I have a note here. At one point when after that whole big brawl happens and Doc Ock, so there's a weird piece of dialogue where Peter picks up this thing, or he's like, he says, oh, that's what he says. He's as Spider-Man, he says to Felicia and Rum, he's like, I can clean up. What's this? He picks up this photo frame. He's like, Felicia's father. Oh, this must be Felicia's dad or something. This is the cat. Like, he has this string of, if you go back and listen to it, he quickly says like a bunch of shit in 10 seconds, and I felt it was just nuts. So I had to throw that out. He's just like, I can help clean up. What's this? A photo? Felicia's father? Like, and it's just like that Peter dialogue.
That internal monologue.
Yeah.
He just
I
goes
just
so
hope it's
wild.
not though. He's talking to himself, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But oh no, see, that's another thing I want to shout out, but that's in the next episode, so I will not.
They break into Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, okay, so you know how Peter has to get the little chip to contact Shield to come get him or whatever?
Mhm.
I thought it was pretty interesting. Jonah locks the door to get in, and also you just see Peter just walk into his office to grab it. It's like, it doesn't like seem like try to pickpocket,
And then-
like just
yeah.
automatically just walks in.
You didn't know Spider's gonna.
Did
just
he lock
automatically-
the door?
He
You notice they-
closed the door
Because
and
he
then
came back
locked it.
literally 5 seconds later. So I don't know why he would have locked the door even.
It's that old
That's what
Jigsaw
the spy
Jameson.
said.
It's like-
It's like Jonah, that door doesn't need a lock.
He doesn't even notice that the door is like not locked when he comes back like in a minute.
Yeah.
Classic the best detective of all time, folks.
And he wasn't Jigsaw at that point.
Yeah.
It was just Jameson.
Yeah, he's just old Jameson.
She at one point says she's just talking to her mom, or I think she's self-dialoguing to herself. She just goes, "Why do I always fall for mysterious men?"
Yep, that's classic.
Classic Felicia, who's just all over fuck. That's where sometimes I do think in this series, I know you guys are Team MJ, but the reason I think Peter and Felicia are a better couple,
Dude, I'm Team Felicia now.
they're so fucking into themselves. Like, they're always just so, woe is me, oh my god. Like, other than that one time Mary Jane had that bitch fit, like, Felicia and Peter are fucking made for each other, so.
Are they though? Because imagine two people like that together, it'd be awful.
They balance each
But
other.
now they both have superpowers.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
pretty cool.
I gotta love one point where Peter he's looking into, which one thing I mentioned, did I write down how to say his name? There it is. Okay, John, I didn't, how did they say her dad's real name? John Hardetsky? Hardetsky? Peter says John Hardetsky like 1,000 fucking times. Anytime she's like, and John Hardetsky, and John Hardetsky. Like, he didn't just call him John Hardetsky every time. But anyway, so while he's looking through, like, and he just like, oh, and when John Hardetsky was a child, John Hardetsky did this. And he's looking through all this stuff. And then, of course, there's this really weird scene, but I guess it works because he looks the exact same. He's like, oh, look, I know that face. And then he does like classic Batman animated series, and he takes it and he draws an eye patch over this guy, and it's Nick Fury, who looks identical hair. He even has the fucking gray patch, but all he's just missing is just his eye patch. Like, I know that face, and just classic animated Spider-Man series. Like, and then, Chameleon was back in this episode.
Yeah, I
had a lot to say.
I like that they used the way they used Chameleon. That he was just kind of chilling in that prison, waiting, and then he's is like the decoy at the end as well.
Yeah.
Chameleon, he's a fun character to pop out once in a while. His powers
just getting paid to hang out in prison.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I just feel like maybe Nick Fury is like his favorite form, because he turns to Nick Fury a lot. And when we first met him, remember, at the season 1 finale, he was all about trying to get revenge on Nick Fury, right? So he just loves turning into Nick Fury. There's something.
He's a cool looking guy.
Yeah.
Well, you get a lot of power as soon as you're Nick Fury, right?
Yeah, it's true. He's got that guy in that prison cell. Remember,
Yeah.
he's like, he locked me up in here.
One of the most powerful people in the world.
Now you don't know who's Chameleon, because he doesn't wear the belt anymore.
He's smart. He's smart. He figured out the flaw in his game.
But that's what I enjoyed, like rewatching back and be like,
nice belt.
I'm like, oh, I didn't notice the belt, like it was him the entire time.
You always didn't notice the belt, but like now it makes it even harder, which is a good thing. Because when you just see this guy, it never fit the scene when Nick Fury has just a blue and black costume and he walks. He has like this big red fucking golden medallion belt. And my favorite thing in the first season too is like when Chameleon like turned to like a lawyer and she had like a suit jacket on, but then she had a huge belt over it, or like Peter on this, like it never worked. But the Captain America stuff.
When he popped out, or when he first put like
Small Steve.
Classic Small Steve. When he first put on like the outfit, he had like this like triumphant little melody that played. I like that. That was a nice little touch. Very quick. It was about 3 seconds long, but that's all you get. For that
and
scene.
then hey you, and then they start chasing him.
And then Red Skull pops out. Red
Skull. I like because Captain America that kind of took me for surprise. But then seeing Red Skull, I was like, what the fuck is this? That was a very short cameo essentially.
It is,
Red Skull was.
and it is weird. Like I can like mildly spoil it. Like these characters do come back, and it was like a setup. But the weird thing is like looking at the episodes coming up, they don't come back like anywhere really near, at least in the next 4 episodes. So it's a really really deep this is Kevin Feige Easter egg.
Well,
like,
I mean,
they thrown Cap and Red Skull.
You mentioned this earlier that this season's like a few episodes shorter than all the other ones.
It's a shorter season,
Maybe there was something that got jumbled around in terms of like when these episodes were supposed to come out or something like that. Yeah. Because that does seem kind of strange if they don't jump to that right away. And I mean, that was so quick in this episode that you think they could have focused on it in like another slower episode or something instead.
They want you to like it's just a nice little teaser. You're like, next episode, what? He's still on here? Next episode. Wow.
And then next season you forget that they were introduced.
It's their new Hobgoblin, right? Like, well, we've solved that mystery, so we gotta get people.
I mean, we can binge watch this show, but like, imagine people would have wait, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
It was tough as a kid.
You'd probably forget You'd probably forget Red Skull was introduced.
I think there's sometimes I didn't though. I just like, man, when are they? After X-Men on the Spider-Man episode, I was always just like, when's X-Men coming back? And they're like, they really never do. It kind of, what did you think about the whole Captain America Red Skull inclusion there?
I thought it was pretty interesting and quite shocking.
Very shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking is the fact that it didn't expect it at all.
Yeah. Well,
It's a good shock. It was a great
Yeah.
shock.
Anything else about this episode, the cat? Because I know we still have a lot to talk about maybe with this episode, but it has some stuff that we don't want to.
All my notes have been exhausted.
You're
I
trying
was
to
looking for a word to say.
Yeah.
I was thinking of replenish, but I was like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't fit at all. And then I was thinking like deplenish, and I don't even know if that's a word.
I think it is.
I'm good.
Okay, I'll give it a thumbs up. I like this episode. I think it's a big setup episode, but
Lots of characters.
yeah, we always talk about the best stuff is when Peter and Felicia or Peter and Mary Jane are happening, that sort of stuff. And I think we talked about this, and I can't remember when. I'd have to listen back, but I think you two took bets on when Peter might be moving on or something like that. And it's episode 2. He's already he needs help with his grief. Yeah, I'm sure he does. Peter. Yeah, he needs some help. Yeah, right. But yeah, thumbs up for me.
Yeah, I think this episode's worthy of one big thumb.
Lots of fun, interesting, good setup. Good old thumb.
Good old thumb.
Good old thumb. The Black Cat. The Kingpin and Dr. Octopus blackmail John Hardetsky. It's K. It's not a... Oh, now I got it.
It's close.
John Hardetsky. And it's spelled Hard, E, and Sky.
Hardy Sky.
Hardy Sky. John Hardy Sky. Into revealing the super secret... They messed that up. It's supposed to be the super soldier secret serum. No. Secret super soldier formula by making...
That works.
They mess it around. They put secret in between super...
It's Wikipedia, whatever.
Yeah, by making threats against Felicia. After Hardetsky reveals his secrets, Landon, I forgot about Landon, is able to recreate and improve the formula for the Kingpin. The Kingpin uses the serum to transform Felicia into a black cat, quotations, and forces her to carry out his crimes until he can create more serum. Based on Amazing Spider-Man 194, which I may have glanced at because I love Black Cat. So, I love any superhero that has a super powered equivalent that they are romantically linked to, you know? Catwoman's my favorite, female figtail. This is pretty much just a fucking copy of Catwoman, 100%. They couldn't have thought of anything to be even just Black Cat. They couldn't have thought of anything else. But at the end of the day, I love the back and forth. I love when they have, their sexual fights. Like Daredevil and Elektra. That's another one. That's, you look at the end of the Defenders, they're just, they're kicking at each other, but then they're pressing each other against the wall and kissing. It's something I never had in my life, but maybe one day.
Maybe you get this huge fight with the secretary where you start punching each other and then
She has to hit me first. But no.
Wow.
Jesus.
I'm a man. No. But,
I'm a man.
But no, that is as a kid you saw it. I was always that sexual tension back and forth. And it's oh man, that's the only way that they can flirt as superpowered people. Is showing off. And there's
in the animated show.
And they do that in this. They do that. There's a lot of fighting and fighting in place of fucking. And they're all doing quips at each other. And yeah, so it was
quite a tease.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Yeah, no, I love this episode. It really. I mean, this character, Felicia's been around since episode 1, right? And to finally see her just evolve to the greater level, and yeah, their back and forth is so much fun. Any time that they were just having conversations with each other, it was really fun dialogue and really.
As Black Cat or as Felicia or both?
I guess both. I guess both. Mostly Black Cat and Spider-Man. I think
Felicia's not actually in this episode that much. She's always she's she is. Don't comment. Don't.
I mean, she's still fully herself though as Black Cat.
True, but the thing is, when she's Black Cat,
maybe not fully. She kind of. I think she's amped on adrenaline for sure.
I think she's a lot more sassier.
She's a lot more sexual too, to be honest. She kind of sexually assaults Peter in this episode.
You could describe it as that.
Peter is unconscious. She lifts his mask and makes out with him, and then he wakes up.
I don't know if I'd say make out. It's a quick kiss.
It's a long kiss. It's not
okay.
She could have slipped a tongue in there. But then
I don't think she did. I don't think she did.
I think there's a chance.
That's what he wants. That's what he wants.
In your world, you pictured.
But I think there's a chance. We don't know it didn't happen, which I have a lot to say
I guess so. I feel in the animated show, they're not gonna have tongue. They can't say blood, dude.
They can say Nazi, and there was
okay, shut up.
And there was an episode with a terminally ill girl that they did not need to do. It could have just been any other girl, but no, they had to show. Oh, guess what? This little girl's gonna die in a week. You remember that episode, Kyle?
Yeah, that was really gross.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So this show can go to dark place. But anyways, yeah, I agree. The fighting is good and back and forth. I like that. Yeah, she's Felicia, and yeah, I think all her emotions are amped to like 1,000 when she's Black Cat, but she still feels different. Sometimes I hate that when it's like, oh, this person is just the exact same way. It's just them in a mask, you know? Like, even with her having the white hair, I feel like if she acted the same way, you'd be like, hey, that's Felicia Hardy. Yeah. But, like, when she acts completely different, whether it's on purpose or not, it feels like a different person. Where Peter is not a different person when he's Spider-Man. Like,
pretty much the same,
he's same quippy. He's, like, maybe just a little less whiny, but I like that she's completely different. I like when she takes off the mask, like, she like shrinks down and her hair
goes back.
Yeah. So all their interactions were great, and that rooftop battle was great. So,
very good.
Yeah.
We have nothing more to add to that. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good recap of their little fight that they had, and kind of just their bit of a storyline. It's really cool to see her, grow from what we known as before, as Dylan said. Like, it really wants me to become Team Felicia.
Oh, wow.
But I gotta stay true to my girl, MJ. Just because,
she's pretty dead right now, though.
I know, she's pretty dead. But, she'll come back maybe later on this season. Someone's gotta be Team MJ, so.
That's not necessarily true, but I like that. I like that thought, for sure.
Yeah.
But, okay, Kyle, you have to choose. Who are you gonna date, MJ or Black Cat? You know you're dating Black Cat, so fuck off.
Sure.
I'll leave it for Felicia, you get the best of both worlds, but... So as far as the stuff with her and Peter, do we have anything more to add? Because also we're going to talk about like the stuff that's action oriented, but anything with Peter and her.
I'm wondering. I don't know. Maybe this is looking down for the season. Is it going to be the Black Cat and Spider-Man together, and just Felicia? Not Felicia.
Felicia.
MJ and Peter get together.
So you think he's going to have two separate relationships going on?
He's going to have two lifestyles happening.
I know he's an asshole, but I don't think he's like that much of an asshole.
Oh.
I don't think it would happen.
I don't know.
Maybe it's probably the classic thing where like he's always kind of entertaining the idea of Felicia, but I don't think he'd ever fully...
I can't remember if MJ knows that he's Spider-Man.
No.
Okay, yeah.
No one knows he's Spider-Man.
No, except for that little girl but she's dead.
and the guy without an arm.
Which guy was that?
Connors?
Oh, Kurt Connors.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't
He just thinks that
Spider-Man loves
he
him.
just knows Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what it's hard for me to say. If MJ and him had broken up, I could see him, Felicia, or him, Black Cat ending up together.
Because I don't think Felicia doesn't like Peter.
No. Well, she did know. She did at one point.
She did at one point, but she's over it.
But the problem is that she likes Spider-Man.
So would she not like Peter if he found out he was Spider-Man?
I think that would honestly lessen her opinion of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I think with the current state of what was left the last time Felicia and Peter were mingling.
Okay.
And I know Peter wants to find out who the Black Cat is.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should at all.
How do you think he would react to finding out?
I think he would freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a
would
bad
he get excited though?
He would get like excited, but at the same time he'd be like, I don't know. Like he would have. I wonder if he would just go with Black Cat then.
Like what? But the whole
Felicia.
package, sure, like the whole package then.
I guess maybe we go with the whole package.
Well, and here's to lay it down for you. In the comics, there's been multiple storylines of this, and this is not spoiling anything in the show because it's gone both ways. At one point, it was they found out they were both each other. It didn't work for other reasons because they're both kind of messed up, but they still date each other as the Peter Parker, Felicia, Black Cat, Spider-Man combo, and it worked out for a while, and they had glances of maybe getting back together. And then there was one version of a storyline where she found out it was Peter Parker and then wanted nothing to do with Spider-Man after she found out it was Peter Parker. So you got.
That's what I would say is more likely for this show and world.
The only reason, because I legitimately don't remember how it comes.
She likes mysterious men. If she knows who the mask is, that's why she didn't lift him up.
No, that's not why it's a completely chick power play, and what she says, who's ever writing it has it down 100%. What she said, I want you to show me. I don't want to find out. Because this thing, I legitimately, these last two seasons, I remember the least because it gets really foggy at some point. You'll see, like, you thought that Robbie episode moved fast. Like, at some point, there's some episodes where shit just goes bonkers. But I don't, for me, I think she would still like Peter because she liked him originally, and the reason why she stopped liking Peter is because Peter kept blowing her off, right?
Yeah.
If she finds out, oh, this was the reason, it might kind of give, oh, he's been living this double life this whole time, and like, how sexy is that? Like, I don't know. You keep laughing. Anytime I say anything about the relationship, you keep laughing tonight.
What if she then thinks, if she knows that who Spider-Man is, Spider-Man's doing this with other people other than just her?
Oh.
What other female superpowered people are out there, though, right now? Alicia, or what was it? Alicia Silvermane or whatever?
She was pretty smoking hot.
Yeah, but that didn't go well. She's in prison. Girl,
Girl
baby
from,
dad.
And we got Black Widow up there chilling with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, but I don't think Peter's going to. This Black Widow's kind of butch.
Yeah, but Felicia doesn't know that he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, okay, well, I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, so what? So your bet is, what are your two's official prediction? Because I'm not gonna make a prediction. Because
Well, I think MJ's gonna come back and they're gonna get together.
Okay, so
I think so too.
so you guys both don't.
And I don't think he would duo. I don't think he would, as Spider-Man, date Black Cat.
I would like it.
He's
no.
you know he wouldn't do it.
He
would like maybe. Like, he'd entertain it for sure, but he would not go fully.
Okay. He's already entertained.
And I'll ask you this: if MJ doesn't come back this season, does this become a relationship one way or the other?
Yeah, I hope so.
Because the only reason
For sure.
why I can't remember if MJ or when she comes back, but the thing is, I feel like the show at this point is really due for them to make a go at it because they've teased the whole back and forth, but he's never
It's
really
been a while since they've hooked up too.
Well, they never. Well, hooked up is a loose. That's a loose. Have they been kissed as Peter and Felicia?
No, I don't think
I
so.
thought so.
I
I mean, hookup is in, you know, like hanging
hold
out.
hands.
Hold hands.
Hold
Yeah,
Each
hooked
other's
up with her-
pockets.
We hold hands.
That's what
in
hooking up
what?
is.
Hold each other's pockets.
Hold each other's pockets. That's fucking
Are you
weird.
trying to make like a hand job joke?
No, we just hold each other's pockets. You know, you don't lose each other.
Instead of holding hands? Hands are more malleable. You
But
can-
either way, I feel like we are due for.
Nice try, I guess.
We are due for them to have a go at it, even if it doesn't work. It's the most cool they've had was like they set up a date and it didn't really work out because Spider-Man, right? And then there has been times where there were times when he was consoling her where she was starting to like not that she was liking Peter, like gonna like, oh, I want to date him, but she still liked Parker, you know, like she's still like, I think there's times where it could have happened, so I feel like they're due, like, this is their moment. MJ's fucking
I want to
dead.
see
Peter,
like
move
a
along.
few episodes of Spider-Man and Black Cat popping off together and
Yeah.
then like you just build up to the reveal. That's what
Yeah.
I'd like to see.
Yeah, I'm
That'd be
interested because
spicy.
I legitimately don't remember exactly how they do in the show. So yeah, that's gonna, yeah, and yeah, I think she kind of assaults him, but you know,
Oh, for sure.
Does she what?
assaults him. He's knocked out, and then after
Oh,
he
yeah.
gets a kiss,
Oh
he's
yeah.
like,
big time.
wow, talk about a knockout.
Yeah, I love that line.
Lipstick on his face,
Well,
wipes it
okay,
off.
this is the last thing I want to talk about the Peter thing. So he's at the Bugle the next morning, and then Jonah's like, "Hey, you got something on your mouth there, Parker." And then he's like, "What?" And then he looks at him, he's like, "Oh." So
And doesn't he say like, "Oh, that must have been a good adventure"?
who? Oh, Jonah?
No,
Or Peterson? Robbie?
Robbie.
Oh, I think
I think he does say some of that.
Yeah.
Because that
You're
was
a lucky guy.
That was Robbie that was talking to
Oh,
Peter.
okay.
And then Jameson walks.
Okay. So because this Peter
Also,
Parker is very cocky.
Okay.
Did he forget and legitimately go to sleep with this lipstick? Or did he just like leave it on to be like a fucking douchebag? Like, ooh, lipstick, I have it. Like, I don't. How do you not wipe
He's such
it
a
off?
smart guy, but he's also just an idiot. And honestly, it could be either or.
Lipstick
And
is
he's also
also
cocky enough that he would do that. I don't think he would have done it on purpose though. I don't think logically that it would have stayed on there in like that perfect
No,
form.
not at all. Because the lipstick, it didn't look like
Maybe he
lipstick. It just looked
reapplied
like a
it.
bunch of like kind of herpes around him, you know? Like, I don't know.
I thought it was an
He
editing
reapplied it.
problem in the cartoon. I was like,
Me
What's going
too.
on?
I'm like, oh, they really fucked up on the animation there. And they're like, oh, what's on your mouth there, Peter? It's like, oh, so.
I love that next scene when I think it's that next scene when he's talking to Jameson and I don't know, he needs to like get evidence or something like that. And Jameson just like pops off on him. Like he gets really, really mad at Peter. Seems like it was very unwarranted, but it was like more angry than I feel like he's ever gotten at
Well,
Peter.
'cause
And I
Well,
love
because he walked through that locked door.
yeah.
He's got
he ran the fingerprint.
Jameson's got Felicia's mom with him, so he's very sensitive. And then the
Yeah.
fact that Peter
Because
doesn't have any.
what happened with them actually? What do you think happened with them?
Ooh, have they hooked up?
Oh,
They've
100%.
definitely hooked up.
100%.
But were they together?
Because this is why I think Anastasia and Jonah, are like where Peter and Felicia are now. At one point,
Maybe
Felicia's-
Jonah's actually Felicia's father?
Yeah, but no, it's a cat. What I was gonna say is before my equation here or my allegory is so you have Peter and Felicia. Peter just lost MJ. She just lost Jason / Hobgoblin, who Kyle still thinks will be forced to marry, but it's not medieval times, but it's gonna happen. But then if you go back and you look at their past, Jonah lost his wife to a drive-by, and then her husband got locked up. So at one point they were both very vulnerable and single. I think
very vulnerable, very single.
I think it happened. I think then the same history is repeating itself, and I think Jonah
they are the type that just based on status and whatnot, they would totally get together. I think they did. I'm almost 100% sure that they.
I think they low key are.
Like when she was staying at his house.
Yeah.
It's kind of like bad timing. Maybe like not so cool on her part.
I'm back out of prison.
But we don't really know much. Like she could kind of be a piece of shit. We don't really know much.
She kind of is.
And,
remember, she's dealt with Kingpin before.
She's quite sketchy.
And she Jameson also have like been together like at different parties as well too, like same events. Yeah. So like making sure Jameson was there, like I don't know, I feel like
that mustache has definitely been up on her face. So.
I think they've been low key together, and then just this episode really solidified that.
So do you think she's
This is so.
Do you think she ever asked for Jigsaw Jameson for role playing? But no. So if they in our
put in the last piece.
So we've completely. Oh no. You solved the puzzle.
It happened and it went exactly like that. If the show went to those kind of levels, those are the kind of things they would say. That's perfect.
That's what happened. You know what? In the bloopers,
So you're saying in the end, as they're working on the show, they made that scene just for themselves.
Yeah, that'd be sick. She even came out with his logo. It's like, you know what you should do? You start leaving like lipstick, but like in like jigsaw pieces with it. You know, like that's a sick logo, like jigsaw lipstick prints. So we've made up this complete fabrication that they are at least together.
It's complete fabrication. I think this show kind of like hints at it a little bit.
Okay, so we don't have confirmation that it's happening.
No, we have confirmation.
We're out of the
They're together right now.
They're not
at his place.
No.
That's confirmation.
He's just worried for a friend. But okay, so either way, what happens now
You're so confident.
Yeah. What happens now that the cat is back? Is that off?
The cat is back.
Obviously, the cat goes away.
Yeah, that's the other weird part. Like he just like comes up like, well, I gotta go. See you later.
Well, yeah, he pieces out.
No, it's not. But it's not because he's just like leaving the family. He has to protect what he's seen in his brain. Remember, like he has to like pretty much.
No, it makes sense, but I still think she accepts that as like a hall pass, if you will. Is that what they call it?
Yeah. So if the cat were to stay, does Jonah get the boot?
I think immediately at the time, sure, but then maybe like a year or two down the road, maybe she isn't satisfied with the cat because he's too fucking weird.
She's really missing that last piece, you know.
She's really missing that last piece.
Well, and I do think it's something that I didn't mean to sing my cheer, but I don't know if it, like a man calling himself a cat to me is just it's not the most. I get it because he's a cat burglar.
No, when I saw the episode name of the cat, I definitely thought it was a female that we were going to get introduced to.
Like, I also get
like Jaguar or something. But I guess that's
the Jet Jaguar.
Yeah.
So here's a big accusation I'm going to throw out. And this is just for fun and shits and giggles.
Here we go.
I think the cat might be playing for the other team. I don't know.
So he's been with Jameson. Maybe they were all together. Maybe it was like maybe they had like sex parties. Maybe they had like maybe they had like threesomes.
Them and Wilson Fisk. And
Swipe's
dad.
There's
no room for more people than Wilson Fisk.
This is the reason why. It's because the reason why he doesn't want to go back and stay because he could just forget. And he can't stand his wife so much because she's so shady, and he's trying to do the real thing.
Super shady.
And so he's like, "Well, I'd rather stay in Shield."
That's why he went to prison, because he knew like if he goes to prison now, that's way better. Like he can get out of prison. Yeah. That's gonna be the same length as a marriage. You know, like he will value what's better. You know, there's a classic joke, and it's like Kyle like.
And I mean,
Kyle, to set up this joke. Say you've been married to your wife for 10 years.
Yeah.
Kyle, how long have you been married for your wife?
I've been married to my wife for 10 years.
You know if you had killed her on your honeymoon, you'd be out of prison by now? Hey, that's what I was going for. But that's maybe, I was thinking his feeling of like, well, I could get out of this.
I mean, here's the thing. From Kat's perspective, like, if you want to get with Tombstone,
Oh,
you gotta go to prison.
I don't think anyone can take Tombstone.
God.
I don't want to see what's under those big
Well,
trousers.
you have Chameleon.
Yeah, Chameleon.
I don't like you. Can you transform for me? Oh, that's much better.
Oh, God.
Sorry, it's way too far for the audience. I'm so sorry.
Oh, whatever.
But
You know what you're
not
getting into if you've watched this show. Come on. Okay, so we've talked about all the relationship stuff. Overall, I put fun episode. There's a lot of fun action going on. There's some fights with Doc Ock. There's some fights with... You get to see Spider-Man and Black Cat team up, and that's cool. And there's lots of good one-lines. And like at one
They also have one scene when they're driving down the highway on a bike, just driving away, and like there's this bus that has turning, and it's like it's clearly gonna kill them, but then they just like go off this jump. I was really confused why there was
Grand
a
Theft
jump
Auto.
there.
Yeah,
It was very GTA.
Yeah. And there is one point where was Black Cat setting this up for the joke, or was she going to say something? Because at one point, she has like Spider-Man gripped her, and she's like, I just have to tell you one thing. And then they start to shoot, and then she's like, duck. But like she almost felt like she was going to say that she loves him. And later on, she insinuates to her dad that she does love Spider-Man, because she said something about like, I've fallen for a man. It sounds gross, but something like similar to you or something like that. Like,
no, I feel like her dad says something creepy after that as well.
Yeah, they got a weird relationship, but like she's not saying it, but she's 100% saying that she loves Spider-Man in this episode. Like she's there.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. In that scene, she could have dropped the big L.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and at one point in the middle of that battle, again, this show sometimes they do this shit on purpose. I think. She said, nice web shot, Spider-Man. I just got lots of fucking innuendos from that. Yeah. Like, who says web shot? Like, I don't know, but, like, I dig it. Yeah, but, yeah.
There's another part when they're getting chased by by S.H.I.E.L.D. Somehow, those motorcycles that S.H.I.E.L.D. has goes into an apartment building and down a set of stairs.
They're good.
I don't understand.
They're the cover bikes, though, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't buy it at all.
It's definitely a tight corridor.
You can buy like a human lizard, but you can't buy these motorcycles.
I can buy the motorcycles, but I can't buy the motorcycles going down a stairwell.
They're hover bikes.
Bane did it in The Dark Knight Rises with just a regular motorcycle.
Okay, and then also I have another quote talking about the bikes.
The bikes.
One point Spider-Man says, looks like she took a lesson from a guy named Blade. She shout out to Blade, so. My boy.
Always shout out Blade.
Big shout out to Blade, yeah.
What did you guys think of the look of Cat? Because we see him in his costume.
I loved it.
I love that he has glasses on. It really adds to the costume.
Yeah, it's alright. I like it.
It's similar to the Black Cat.
I don't know if I like the color, because it's like
black and blue.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's just trying to show the sheen to it.
Yeah.
The other weird thing is at one point Spider-Man dresses up as the Cat, and that just adds like another layer. Like
I like how it's obvious Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then he just rips it and it's him, and it's like a big reveal. But like another layer of like she's kind of just like. She has some. I think I figured out that she just has some daddy issues, and that's why she likes Spider-Man.
Yeah. So does MJ, dude. Yeah. MJ joined a cult trying to find her father. It was like a weird magic.
Fuck. He should have just picked like Liz Allen. You know that girl end of a Flash?
Yeah.
She's nice. She's normal. Like all this fucking these girls.
Too normal for Spider.
Yeah, and even like Alicia Silverman. Like man, these are some fucked up roles.
He knows how to pick them. That's for sure. This episode also features a couple situations where he's running out of his web cartridges. One of them is hilarious because he goes to shoot and it's like his last one. It just like sputters out. It's just like the most lousy little shot of all time. Yeah. I thought that was
sexual innuendo.
Can't wait for that.
I think it could have been that as well.
Can't wait for that Infinity War.
Oh.
By the time this is aired, Infinity War is maybe already happening.
Because of that, like Thanos kills someone because he ran out of cartridges. Yikes.
What a cop out.
Now, and this is completely off topic, but Sony right now, they're making a movie called Silver and Black, and it's about Silver Sable and Black Cat, two Spider-Man characters, and it's going to be a spin-off. That's what that makes me really mad. I think they won't do it because Tom Holland's, like, younger and whatnot, but, like, I really want to see a live-action Black Cat, and I really want to see that back and forth. Maybe that doesn't fit Marvel's go-to right now to have, like, a kind of a sexual innuendo sort of fun back and forth, but they could maybe tinker with it a bit. I don't think they'll do it because they think Tom Holland's too young. But
romantic comedy, just like what's the Wasp?
Ant-Man Wasp.
Yeah, but I don't get that sense from them. I get the sense like Ant-Man and Wasp really like each other. Where I get the sense from Spider-Man and Black Cat, they just like just want to bang, you know. And I don't think Marvel's at that level where they just
No.
make people that want to just bang people, you know.
Kevin Feige's not about just banging. He's all about the emotional.
He's all
side.
about money. Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Money and hats.
I have this is another reason why I think Felicia could be more open to him, because I'm not sure if you caught it, but Peter makes a joke, a dead Mary Jane joke. So
Does he?
He says, girls leave me high, and then he goes, and wet. So before, not take out the wet thing. So what happens in this situation is, they finished the mission, and it's Black Cat and Spider-Man, and she just fucking like ass bumps him off the thing. And you know what, ladies, it's one of the best things you can do in the world. An ass bump's always great. But so she does
I
that.
don't know if it was an ass bump. I think it was a push.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I just imagine that.
Travis's mind is just
I love Black Cat. I always I love Catwoman, but the thing about Black Cat is just that fucking pitch white hair. Fantastic. Because that's not natural hair. No one has it unless you're 60.
Well, it changes when she puts a mask on for some reason too.
Hey, the Hulk.
She's got the super serum there.
Yeah, and the hair, you know. But anyway, so she pushes him off. There's a very comedic moment where Spider-Man can't gain his balance, he falls in the water, and now he pops up and he says this line. What else is he referring to? Because to me, the only time he's referring to, okay, Black Cat left him wet, and then Mary Jane, the last time he was with her, left her wet because he was looking through the water. So, like, I think I'm in the right...
high because he was up top, high on a bridge, and she fell off.
And then he's like, and left him wet. So, like, I think I'm not making an assumption. I think I'm right in, like, he made a dead Mary Jane joke there. And that's pretty fucking morbid, even for Peter Parker. Yeah. I think that's the lowest, like, he's not even on Team MJ after that. Like,
I mean, he's traditionally a scumbag, but that's, like, scumbag times 2.
Who jokes about that? Why would you joke? Like, what else could he be referring to?
Yeah, but it's been like 2 months now, so it's not, it's past the too soon.
High? I don't know.
High.
But, like, maybe, like, she left him high, and now Felicia left him wet.
But he was still,
I like that.
But he was still wet with MJ. Like, he had to get wet to try and find him.
But he was in the air high.
Okay.
Like, she, like, left
I'll
him
give
high.
it to you just because I don't want to... I want to feel like Peter...
I don't want to be that.
I don't want Peter
I think
to
it's
actually
possible
say
that they just, like, wanted to use the line high and dry because this show loves using, like, little sayings like that, but they you know, do the classic mix-up because he fell in the water. Yeah. So maybe they didn't really think it that far, but I think there is maybe some possibility to that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go over the cat. You know how he doesn't want...
You make it sound like we actually haven't talked about the cat at all. But
Who's the cat?
Who's the cat? They go over to a part where, you know, he doesn't want to give out this information about the serum or whatever again. So he wants to be locked up.
Yeah.
And
he may as well just kill himself.
But Nick Fury, Nick Fury is just like wanting to catch him because he's bad, and it's like, why wouldn't the cat just tell Nick Fury, hey, the reason why I want you to lock me up is because I don't want to lose this. Like, I don't want anyone else to know, like, what I know.
The cat kind of seems like Felicia, where he doesn't make things easy, and he just wants to do things his own way. And maybe he just can't trust Fury or something. I don't know.
I know. It's like, but you trust him enough to put you in a secret fucking flying facility in the air that still got broken into, and he got out?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still think he should have just,
I feel like we didn't get enough of the... I mean, I'd prefer Black Cat for sure, but I don't think we got enough of Cat. Like, I still don't really know much about the guy. Now he's fucking gone.
Oh, you see, I would have loved if they replaced the cat with every Black Cat scene. So even those Spider-Man scenes, it's him.
Wow. So he is dressed as the Black Cat then?
Yeah.
There's 2 Black Cats.
It's
one of them shoots web. I wonder.
Would have been good if they crossed paths. And just looked at each other just awkwardly and just kept running past each other.
I have nothing else to say about this episode. I've said too much.
Yeah, you have. No, I've exhausted my supply.
Nope, that's all I had.
I'll give this a solid thumbs up. I can't give it 2 thumbs up because like I did really enjoy it, but 2 thumbs up for me is something that I thought was phenomenal. Had no problems. I don't necessarily think this one had any problems, but there's a lot of sputter around with the cat and whatnot, and I think we could have got to some places quicker. I think the cat and the Black Cat episode were really just reasons to get Black Cat in the season. It's like a minor spoiler, but Black Cat is in the season quite a bit, so I think it was just, hey, we need to set her up. But I think the episode was good overall. It's very good, but I give it 2 thumbs up for ones that are like, man, that blew me away. You know, the Venoms, the X-Men's, the Goblin Wars. You know, this was a good one. I'll give 2 thumbs up for all the Black Cat Spider-Man scenes. You know, so
I'm actually gonna drop the 2 thumbs up
Whoa.
because I think this is just a huge moment for the show, you know, to really give Felicia that backstory and bring a character that we're going to see a lot of, and I think a character that just has so much more potential to them than like most other kind of characters in the show. You know, someone that can team up with Spider-Man, someone who already knows Spider-Man. So I love this episode. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great introduction for what's to come, even though I don't actually know what's to come.
And now you're Team Felicia. It sounds like.
I'm Team Felicia now. You know, MJ's pretty dead, so.
What's gonna happen if MJ comes back and Black Cat is around?
Yeah, we'll see what she's like when she comes back. Because Black Cat's pretty cool.
She's a zombie.
I'm gonna give this episode a solid thumbs up. I thought it was really good.
Did you mean to tease the 2 thumbs? Is that your way of
teasing? But no, just a solid thumbs up. I thought it was really good. I don't think it was up there for like the Hobgoblin episode for me myself. That's why I can't give the old 2. But
That Hobgoblin episode, man.
It's so good.
You just praise it.
But yeah, good solid thumbs up. The whole Felicia and Peter, or I guess the Black Cat and Spider-Man, I thought it was
one the same.
Was amazing, and kind of just the setup for Felicia's storyline was good too.
And Kyle, I didn't even ask you, how did you feel? How do you feel? Did you like Felicia is a super powered people? Did you see that coming? Because obviously Dylan got spoiled, but you never answered. Did you see that coming at all when we started the show? That one day she's gonna be like fighting crime and shit like that.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
0 idea.
That's great.
Blew me away.
Well, anything else we have to say?
No, I don't think so.
Well, friends, Spider friends, you can catch us on the next episode. We're going to be doing 4 episodes. We've got lots of stuff to cover. It's going to be a good time. You know where to find us. Please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review. That helps us create more shows. That helps us spread awareness. That helps us gain more fans like you. If you like what we do, if you especially like Spider-Man Retrospective, head over to Patreon, because who knows when you listen to this, but you could have been listening to this months ago. I was gonna say years.
You're about to say years. That's
I
pretty cool.
Yeah, but months ago. You could have been listening to this so long when we got that Spider-Man Black Cat.
You could have been the cool kid at school that's like, hey man, I was listening to the Black Cat episode like months earlier.
Yeah. You listen to that now? I listen to that in 2018, baby. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the web.
So I fell asleep last night. I just need a recap of the first one. Just like the last, I think, I was gonna say 10 minutes, but that's like half the show.
Yeah, it means it.